Friday night against ETSU. Talk about the preseason. How's it gone for your team?
You know, Bob, it's gone well. I like the guys I got. I just wish I had a couple more. I think they've bought in, particularly to the full court pressure defense, 94-foot offense, the intensity with which we want to practice every day. What is challenging is there are some things that I can't do because I don't have a full squad in practice, like more contact drills, which would help our spacing, help our timing. But overall, I'm pretty pleased.
The NCAA changed some rules this year. You were allowed to have more team practices in August. That really helped this team, didn't it?
It helped, and they need to go a step further. You know, I could only work with the guys 8 hours in the preseason, of which now 2 hours are on the court basketball related. That's just not enough time. But it is better than what's been done in the past, and it did give me a chance to get with my team early. You know, they don't care how much you know, so they know how much you care. When I can only spend a very short amount of time with them, I can't show them how much I care. I can't teach them enough, and hopefully we're going to continue to get those rules to get adjusted.
When you took the job at Tennessee, you'd heard about the two guards, Lofton and C.J. Watson. They've lived up to the billing, haven't they?
They have. They're really, really good. C.J. is an excellent point guard, might be one of the best, certainly one of the best in the SEC, might be the best. I think he's improved his outside shooting. I think he's improved his being a floor general. He definitely is benefiting by the 94-foot pace, and we are much better with him on the floor than without him. We need to develop some backcourt depth. And Chris Lofton, he is quick enough to get open, he is strong enough to defend, and he is a great scorer. He's a better scorer than I thought he was, Bob. I knew he was a great shooter, but he can also score in other ways, and really, really happy with Chris.
So your guards are set. What about you up front guys?
Well, you know, Andre Patterson we were without him for 4 weeks, and we've been with him for 4 days, you know, so it's good to get him back, and it's going to certainly give us some depth and some athleticism on the front line. Major Wingate's got to play big for us this year, Bob, and he's capable of it. He's got to go from promise to productivity. Now, whether he does it night in and night out, that's going to determine how successful. But I think Major can play for just about anybody in the SEC at times. It's just his consistency is what's lacking, and his ability to sort of get the ball at 8 feet and get it to 4 instead of getting it 4 and getting pushed out to 8.
Dane Bradshaw's a gamer. He's played number 4, he's played 3, he's played point guard for you. He'll just play, won't he?
You know what, Bob? One of the things I like about this team is that our fans are really happy that Dane Bradshaw's out there. And they like that Stanley Asunu is getting his shot in his senior year. This is a very likable group to coach, and it's because I've got some guys that overachieve. Dane is a terrific leader, and he is versatile. He probably is the only starting power forward that's backing up a point guard anywhere in the country.
Talk about your style, though. It's pressing coming off the bus. It's pressing coming out of timeouts.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to get after people.
It's different, Bob, in the sense that, well, first of all, it's what I've done my whole career. It's what I know. And I always, you know, Hayden Fry said, scratch where it itches. And John Wooden said, you know, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. You know, so this is how I do it. But I do like being the aggressor. And I do know that defensively, you know, and for football terms, the quarterback can't throw the ball when he's on his butt. You know, and it's hard to make plays offensively if I'm in your grill. And so we're going to get up and get after people and hopefully be disruptive. If we play that way all the time, if we practice that way all the time, it might bother some of our opponents.
You have won every place you've been. You expect to win here. Do you have a timetable when you think you can be competitive in the SEC and win a championship?
Well, you know what? It's a question that I'll be able to answer sometime later in the season. I don't know what I have. I don't know what I need. And I really don't know how good we are right now. I know we got a long ways to go. We will win here at Tennessee, and we'll win big. It's probably not going to happen right away. But, you know, this team has got a chance to do something that not many teams at Tennessee have a chance to do, and that's overachieve. Expectations are always so high and everything, and that's fine. We want it that way. But this team, if they get the most out, can they give me everything they got? I think I can take that. I think our fans can take that, and we'll see what the results look like.
How have you thought your team reacted to how you coach them? I mean, is this a coachable team? It
is a coachable team, but what I don't know yet is we've not faced any adversity, and we will. They did not respond well to adversity in the past. They kind of laid down a little bit. We've talked about that. It's not a criticism, it's a fact. And how are we going to respond when we get beat, when we get challenged? In the preseason, in the early non-conference schedule, we're going to have to play well to beat East Tennessee State. If we don't play well, we'll get beat. And just like Chattanooga came in and beat us last year, Chattanooga played well, they deserved to win that game. Murray State, Louisiana Lafayette, Eastern Kentucky. You look at that schedule, all those teams are mid-major programs picked near the top of their conference. But this team is capable of beating all those teams on our schedule, if we play well and play up to the level of our abilities.
You talk about the tough schedule. You got Oklahoma State, you play at Memphis, you got Texas, but you also have 18 games in the state of Tennessee.
Right.
And one of those is coming up, Murray State in Nashville, which is a big thing. I know you want to play across the state as much
I think
as you
it's
can.
great, Bob. I mean, the fact that we can play in Memphis and Nashville and here in Knoxville, we are the University of Tennessee. It's big orange country everywhere. And I've heard so many very compliments from our fans across the state that really appreciate the fact that we're taking the show on the road a little bit. And the bottom line with the Murray State game up in Nashville, in the OVC country, Murray State's it. They've been it for a long time. Tennessee State, middle when they were there. But Murray State, that's the program that's gone and represented them more in the tournament. They'll bring over a nice crowd. And but that's where the SEC tournament is being played at the end of the year. And it's all about March. Bob, that's what it's all about. It's all about that for this team and for every team that I coach. The fact that the game is going to be in Nashville, that's why I wanted to play a game up there, so that when we go back for the SEC tournament, it'll feel like home.
And there are tickets available for that game at the Gaylord Entertainment Center coming up at the end of the month. We start next week against ETSU, and then the long grind begins. And I guess it's just a matter of, you mentioned trying to get your team to peak toward March. I mean, this is a slow building process, isn't it?
Bob, how much of my success in Milwaukee was due to the fact that I'd coached those kids 3 and 4 years? We won, I think my second year we started winning. We got to the NCAA tournament. The first year was the toughest one because we had so much to learn, so much to turn around, where the roster is what it is and where these guys are learning everything for the first time. This is the year that'll be the most challenging. But if we can do it this year, it also could be one of the most rewarding.
Well, I know people are excited about it all across the state and in the region. You had a good recruiting start, and I know you're excited about the class you're bringing here next year.
Well, I got to tell you, Scott Edgar, Tony Jones did a terrific job. Those are my 2 top assistants. And when it comes to recruiting, they did a phenomenal job, worked real hard. We had opportunity to sell. We had that style of play. We had our success at Wisconsin, Milwaukee. And we had the great tradition of basketball at Tennessee. We had Philip Fulmer and Pat Summit and the Vol Walk and this beautiful campus. Every one of the young men that have committed to us, they've got a couple things in common. They're champions, hungry. They wanted to go someplace where they could do it rather than keep it going. They could get it going. And I'm much obliged to them. And those guys will be rewarded for their commitment to the University of Tennessee.
All starts next Friday, Bruce. Good luck to you and the team.
Appreciate it, Bob. Thank you.
Tennessee basketball coach Bruce Pearl with us. Tennessee opens the season next Friday night against East Tennessee State here at Thompson Bowling Arena.